Alrighty, let's see if this works. Sorry, I haven't made a video for this channel in so long. That's why I just want to do this one straight, no chaser. I don't want to edit it. I want to just play this video for you guys, show you my update on taking compounded semaglutide. I've started in April, so let's look at the stats. But first, I made this video. Let's see if it'll play. For you guys, showing you how I just tried on this pair of shorts for fun. I'm not going to wear them outside. I think I used to. Anyway, they are a size 8, and they're the kind, you know how you throw them in your closet and you think, thank you, Jesus, I might not ever wear these again. So thank God I got to wear them. So it kind of shows you where I am now. Today, I weighed myself and I'm 158 pounds. I'm 5'11". So that's about my goal weight. My goal weight is always kind of like in the 150s. I feel comfortable. So I'll close that out and we will talk about everything I've been wanting to tell you guys. Now, if this is your first time watching the video, let's start from the beginning. So I had always hovered around 150 or whatever. Eventually, over the years, put on weight, put on weight, put on weight. My highest weight was 212 pounds. And I'm like, whoa, something has got to change. You know, I've done a lot of things. I've done bikini competitions. I've, been able to cut my weight all the way down to 137, which is a stage weight, which is just too low for me. That's only temporary. And I got up to 212. It was too much. I was like, Lord, send me something. And I feel like he sent me compounded semaglutide, which is not the brand Ozempic. I'm not stealing it from diabetics. But I started in April. And now that I'm done, because I need to save money, I want to see where this journey will go. So let's start. I had gotten up to 212. And then apparently, I guess I was able to get down myself. If this represents my first time, let's see. I started in April. Oh, see, I didn't even grab the first one. Shoot. I meant to find the very first photo, but you can find it over on my community page on this channel, and you can find it in older videos. The first one, I think it would have said 200. I think it said exactly 200.8 maybe, because this is from May 10th of this year. And I know I started April of this year. I wish I could just go find that one really quick on my phone. I don't want to keep you guys though. So I was up to actually about 200 when I started. Compounded semaglutide, I got it from a local doctor, like a little med spa place doctor. He was great. He showed me how to do the self-injections. I started out on 0.25, and I kept it in my calendar, 0.25 milligrams, milliliters, whatever the heck it is. I should have brought the needles here too. I started out and I did that for 8 weeks because some people do 0.25 for only 4 weeks. I just wanted to ramp up slowly. I didn't want to get sick. It worked well for me. I didn't experience a lot of nausea like some people do, but it was really a blessing. So by May 10th, I was down, I want to say 10 pounds. It should show my weight loss on here. I wish I had grabbed the first one, but you can still see here I was still overweight, body fat too high, BMI too high, but it started working that first month. I wanted to show you guys how much I lost the first month. And then I was down to 188. So I didn't lose much by the time June rolled around because, where did I go? I lost myself. There I am. So here you go. By June, I was down to 188. I had only lost 2 pounds. Like the first month, I want to say I lost a whopping 10 pounds. And it was like, whoa, this is really working for me. I might have even lost more. Shoot, I want to find that photo now. But anyway, the first month did great. I lost so much weight, about 10 pounds or what have you, or even more. Or was it 8? Maybe 10 pounds the first month. I was like, this is really working for me. I was only slightly nauseated. I never threw up. You know, you do get constipated, but my appetite was greatly reduced. It was great. So I stayed on that 0.25 for another 4 weeks, and that's why I only lost 2 pounds this month. There it is. At least I have the weight loss there. So you'll see what I started off as. So by the time I hit 188.8, I had lost 21.5 pounds according to my doctor's scale. So what is that? If I could just add 209 pounds. Wow, yeah, I lost a lot. 209, is that right? Yeah, that's more than 209. 210 pounds. 210 pounds. Oh my goodness, did I lose 20 pounds the first month? You know what? I can't even remember the previous video I created, but I did lose a lot the first month. That would be amazing. My tummy's rumbling. That would be amazing if I lost 20 pounds in a month. Because, yeah, I think I actually did, because it showed 210 at the doctor's office. After that first month, I dropped 20 pounds. It was crazy. You can check it in my previous videos. I totally forgot about that. Let me check to verify, make sure I'm telling you guys the right thing. But yeah, the nurse was pretty amazed. She couldn't believe I had lost that much weight. I'm going to check my own videos because I forgot how much weight I even lost. I want to see, and then I'll walk you guys through everything. Before and after. Where's my channel? Looking for my own channel here. This is why I haven't done a video, because they take time. Yes. See, I forgot. It's 5 months ago. I lost 20 pounds in my first month. I had totally forgotten that. It's a good thing we create YouTube videos as a record. So yeah, I came in the doctor's office weighing 210 pounds according to their scale in April. I dropped 20 pounds the first month. The nurse was amazed because it's coming back to my memory now. She had never seen anyone who had lost that much weight in the first month. But then, of course, it slowed down because I didn't want to lose too rapidly. And so I stayed on the 0.25, and I went down to, at first, 190. You know, first the 210 dropped 20 pounds down to 190. Then the next month, only down to 188. So you can see that here. So I thought, okay, it's leveling off, you know, the weight loss, and that's when I ramped up to 0.50 in my dosage. I was taking the shots at first every Thursday night, once a week, every Thursday night. I take it at night, like a lot of people do. And let's see, here's another. I have all these screenshots when I actually went to the doctor's office. So what date is this? Okay, that's still, they're telling you from April 3rd is when I started. I was down about 30 pounds by the time this rolled around, but I don't know what date this is. So you can tell this is actually when I ramped up from 0.25 to 0.50, and you know how I was 188.8? The next month, once I ramped up to 0.5, I was down another 8 pounds, down to 180.8. Now, let's see where we are here. I'm glad I kept all these records. Wednesday, August 30th, this says I was down to 168.8. So that 0.50, I never went up above 0.50. That worked for me. I just kept on week after week. And I did go to Chicago to visit my sister, and I was going to be there on a Thursday night, and I didn't want to take it with me, the medication. You know, I was thinking of, oh, should I take a pre-filled syringe and just try and keep it cold? And the nurse told me you can't bring pre-filled syringes through TSA anyway. So I was like, fine, I'll be back on Saturday night. I'll just move my injection date from Thursdays to Saturday night. So towards the end, I moved them. It was only a couple of days later, and so that worked fine with me. In fact, maybe it worked better, you know, taking it during the weekend. Sometimes the hunger, you know, if you're bored over the weekend, and how it can ramp up. So anyway, by August, I was down to 168.8. Thank God I was finally in the normal, healthy range here. My BMI went down, my body fat went down. And, you know, to tell you the truth, I don't have like a lot of muscle tone, because I know you do lose muscle. You lose fat on this Ozempic or compounded semaglutide, whatever you want to call it. You lose both. And I haven't been to the gym. I've been so busy working and trying to keep up with these YouTube channels, create content. The editing takes forever. So that's what's been taking up my time. And so, unlike the days when I used to be a gym rat and I would really, hit it, I would really build up my muscles and I would try and lose weight, cut the fat, and build the muscle. And that's one thing this one doctor or this podcaster woman, I forgot her name. I wish I could remember it, but she wasn't really against Ozempic or compounded semaglutide. She was just saying as long as you can keep up your muscle tone because you don't want to lose muscle. So I admit I have some weights right over there, but I have not been great about just, I walk. I was able to walk a few times a week at this park, and it did have these like this old kids playground, so I would like do a few little pull-ups, or I'd step on these huge stones, and that would be kind of like my little workout, but it was only a few minutes here and there. So I know the muscle tone isn't what it was when I was doing like 2-a-days or training and all this stuff, but I was still relatively happy with my journey, my semaglutide journey. So I think this was the last time I was there, probably, yep, because it says 163.2. Oh, I just don't know what that date is. I wish I could see that date. So everything just kind of kept swimming along, so that's the last time I weighed in there. But weighing in at home, I know I weigh 158 pounds. So I stopped. I took my last injection last week. Last week, which would have been... It's weird, it was on a Tuesday. Why did I do it on a Tuesday? I don't know why I did that. But now that I think about it, but I had enough. I was trying to get every little drop out of the bottle because I needed to cancel. It initially cost me $349 per month. And then it kind of, because they do an introductory little price, and then it went up to $399 per month. So I love it. I love the product. It was $400 per month. I think they infused mine with vitamin, I forget which vitamin B something, and compounded semaglutide, nice clear little vial. You keep it in the fridge, and so we would, keep up with it. But by November 21st, I squeezed like the last I could get out of that vial and did my last injection because I need to use that $400 per month to pay bills, to pay taxes, to pay for body cam videos, to pay for all this other stuff. So I stopped, and I'm hoping, praying I can keep it at a healthy weight. I can already kind of tell maybe my appetite has increased only slightly, but like last week was my last injection of 0.50, and hopefully if I need to go back on it, I can always pop back on it, if praying my finances improve in Jesus' name so I can get back on it if I need to. But it's good to take a break, in my opinion. I don't know, we're all learning with this medication. Like the nurse and I were talking about anyway, now that I had hit my goal weight, the point was, what do you do? I didn't know if I should have slowly weaned off of it. Should I have gone back, step down to 0.25 and then see how that goes? Yeah, if I had the money, maybe I would have continued to do it that way. But that wasn't going to work. So I was like, I got to cancel now. I need to use this money for other things. Hopefully I can remain kind of in the 150s and just not, initially I was just like so afraid to eat anything that would make me sick, because people talked about if you eat greasy stuff, you'll get sick. And so you guys know, if you watch the first videos, I was just going to Chick-fil-A every day, getting their salads. And I would eat like these protein, maybe breakfast bowls from Jimmy Dean's. My husband would get me, just kind of eat eggs and sausage in the bowls with potatoes. And then I would get the Chick-fil-A salads. I was afraid to like go too greasy. But over time, it was fine. I mean, I knew I could pretty much eat anything I wanted. At first, I had no desire at all for any sweets. I didn't even want chocolate, which I love chocolate. So I gave up a lot of that. I didn't want alcohol. I barely drank anything. But now, as the holidays have come around and my cravings have come back a little bit. I can eat anything. I can eat, small hamburgers. Hamburgers are fine, French fries, BLTs, salads I still eat, but then I did start eating sweets again. I started eating chocolate, and I was eating ice cream, chocolate ice cream bars, those ones that are magnums, they're so good. So, you know, I don't want to get out of control. I don't want to start binging or anything. I want to just keep it level. And some of these places say, yeah, if you stop Ozempic, you'll blow right back up or you'll gain more than you gained. I hope that's not true. The one thing I wanted to look at, I wanted to tell you guys about this. If I can do it here, if it would let me close this. Close, there we are. And if I could get myself back on the screen, I'll do it that way. Me and Jesus. This was a sad story, and I found it kind of strange. You might have heard of this woman who she died after taking Ozempic to slim down for her daughter's wedding, and her husband's like, she shouldn't have been gone. She shouldn't be gone. This Australian woman, she wanted to lose weight for her daughter's wedding, and she died from some kind of gastrointestinal illness. And her husband is warning the medication isn't worth it. And this was scary to think about, this woman dying, and it's weird details, but I have been keeping up with all the press, like what will they say about Ozempic, about compounded semaglutide or semaglutide. Everyone's talking about it. Like, I don't know if you ever watch Married to Medicine, that's a reality show. The one guy on there, it's not Greg, it's this other doctor. He kind of slimmed down, and people will admit that they're taking it. He said, Dr. Jackie has me on semaglutide, he called it. So some people will admit that they're on it, and they're doctors, and they're prescribing it and taking it. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe it is safe. The weird thing I thought about this, and God rest her soul, this Trish Webster, 56-year-old, she was prescribed Ozempic to help her, get into her dress and all that. It's talking about the GLP-1 hormones, and it was some kind of intestinal blockage. The weird thing I thought, it said she took Ozempic along with the prescription injection Saxenda, and she lost about 35 pounds in 5 months. But then I thought that was so strange. I'm like, she was taking Ozempic and Saxenda together, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Ozempic and Saxenda are very similar, if not the same, except Ozempic supposedly works better. I don't know if Saxenda just contains like a smaller dosage of the same thing. I don't know if it's the same makeup, but I did Google it after I read this story, because I'm like, are you supposed to take Ozempic and Saxenda at the same time? And the answers I read said no. So I'm thinking, did she tell her doctor that she was taking both? Did the doctor prescribe this woman both at the same time? And that hasn't been quite made known here. But they're saying it made her sick. Her husband found her unconscious, and it's just very, very sad. So I thought that's a warning there. If anyone's taking Ozempic and Saxenda at the same time, I would be wary of that. I'm not sure if that's what caused her problems, if she had pre-existing conditions. A lot of people have been talking about how the stomach can get paralyzed, and people can't move their bowels. And, I read the glaring headlines, kind of designed to maybe scare people. But then I like to dig into the details too, to figure out, okay, what percentage of people is this happening to? Is it something that we should be leery of, or is this another headline designed to just scream at people and scare them away? Like, Ozempic fingers, oh no, Ozempic butt, Ozempic face, what are they going to move on to next? Without really digging into the details about people who are really taking it and what their experiences are. But I felt really bad for that woman. But the latest headlines, I always like to Google it. I have an alert set up on some of these things. I like to see. It talks about, Ozempic being the new match for menopausal weight gain. And Ozempic and Wegovy have upended the diet industry. Why is the Weight Watchers CEO betting the company's future on them? I've even looked into the stock of this Novo Nordic, I think it is. And look at this. I didn't know Heather Gay from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I mean, Andy Andy Cohen jokes about it being the Real Housewives of Ozempic, since so many Real Housewives, the franchise, the reality shows, so many of those women are on it. We're going to look at another one. I think it's just so many people are on it, and they don't talk about the men that are on it too, you know, like that Married to Medicine doctor, whose name I can't remember. It's Toya's husband, whatever his name is. Men are on it too, it's not just women. They talk about Mounjaro working better for weight loss than Ozempic. So, yeah, and Sharon Osbourne is talking about her taking it. She was even scared that she was losing too much. There's so much on it. Those who admit to taking it, I'm grateful. And it's weird, you know, it's so weird that I was looking at Heather Gay on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City the other day, and I did wonder if she had ever tried it. So it's interesting that she's saying she's on the Ozempic train, but I haven't had massive results. I've been on it for a long time, but I hadn't really seen much results. I'm glad she gave this interview. She's 49 years old. She can represent some of the people, like I'm still in the Facebook groups about semaglutide. And some people do complain, even on Reddit too. They write that they've been taking Ozempic and or compounded semaglutide and it's not really working for them. You know, like drastically, whatever it is about my body that loved it, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's your genetic makeup or what. My body loved it. Immediately, I experienced, a reduction in appetite and 20 pounds gone that first month just on the 0.25 dose. Some people are taking it and they're like, I don't really feel anything. Some people have only lost 2 pounds, 6 pounds over a series of months. I mean, I feel bad. So I'm glad that has come out to say, yes, I am taking it, but I haven't seen a big difference in my weight loss. She said she went on to reveal people have started acting differently around her since she started dropping the pounds, which she has found discouraging. You lose 5 pounds, people are nicer to you. I don't know why. It's just the way the world works. Makes me sad for women. She's happy she's down 5. Wow, I thought she was going to say people would, be a little jealous of her. That can happen as you drop weight. So I'm glad she's talking about putting too much, pressure on yourself. She's coming into her own. She's got gorgeous daughters. And she runs that beauty lab place. So it's very interesting. I'm glad it came out that she talked about it. They're talking about, I guess, other housewives. Some of them I don't know. But this woman lost, I guess, 20 pounds. So I don't know what it is about a person's physical makeup. This woman took Ozempic and stopped and began taking Mounjaro. She was medically prescribed both. So, yeah, talk about another housewife that's taking it, Marlo Hampton. She's usually on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I found it interesting because there was an article about her getting backlash. She had posted this photo and they were talking about some of the comments she was getting. I mean, she looks great to me, and I love that she admits taking Ozempic too. She was on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, and he was complimenting her. This may have been about a month ago or more. I don't know. I can't remember. And he's like, you look great. What are you doing? What are you doing? And she's like, I'm taking the shots. I'm on the shots. So I love the people who admit it. And not everyone's on it. Not everyone who has lost weight, of course, is on Ozempic. And I realize it can be offensive to some people to be accused of taking it when they're not really taking it. But I don't like it when people get offended and they really are taking it. They don't want to admit it. they pretend, oh, I'm just hitting it really hard at the gym. I'm just really watching my diet. And to me, that does a disservice because I know no one wants to necessarily experience all backlash if people are like, you shouldn't be taking that. You know, you should just try and eat right and exercise. Hold, please. I'm back. I'm really serious about not wanting to edit. It's so much easier if you just do it raw, screen record, and upload as opposed to taking it into an editing software and editing and all that. So forgive the rawness and realness of these videos, but I got to do this in order to get updates out. So I just hate when people give others backlash for us trying. We've tried, a lot of people have tried all their lives to lose weight, and they look at this almost as a last resort. Like, what am I going to try? I was pre-diabetic. I don't want diabetes. My grandma, my dad had diabetes. I saw the effects of that. And so I don't like it when people are just like, why don't you just eat right and exercise? Like, we know the formula. I've done it before when it was time for competitions, when I had different goals. And at a certain time, certain things don't necessarily work the same way. So I'm grateful this worked for me. It's working for other people. It's not necessarily, again, just about vanity. Oh, I need to, lose 5 pounds to squeeze into a dress. For a lot of people, it's about, I need to get healthier. I don't need to be overweight or obese. I need to be in a healthy, not pre-diabetic state. So with her, Marlo was getting some backlash. There was an article about it. Some people, there it is, another Ozempic housewife. And some people were saying, oh yeah, that's it. Don't lose no more weight. So a lot of people were complimentary, but some people, were giving her a hard time. I mean, I think she looks great. But some people are like, oh, you're getting too skinny. There it is. Marlo, can we lay off the Ozempic now? You look great, but let's stop before we get to that weird bobblehead stage like Erica J is in. So that's another housewife. You lost a lot of weight. Are you on a diet? People were asking. It's the Ozempic. So, for the most part, I think a lot of people are kind to her, but those comments did, cause people to give her backlash or just give her comments, and there was an article about it. So I think that's all I want to say right now. I owed you guys an update. It's now that I'm off of semaglutide, I want to continue updating you guys on the journey to see, like, okay, how's it working now that I'm off of it? What are my cravings like? Can I maintain this weight, healthily? Let's pray in Jesus I can. And will it get to the point where I want to go back on? I hope I'm able to. If I need to, the money, the expense can be quite a bit, but it's okay. God is able. I'm not going to sound like a defeatist. But I owed you guys this update. There's so much I wanted to talk to you about. That unfortunate woman dying, taking Ozempic and Saxenda together, which sounds like a big no-no. The backlash some housewives are getting, and the house husbands, or the doctors rather, who are taking it, and just so many things. The stock, I think Ozempic's not going anywhere anytime soon, or Mounjaro, or whatever derivations or brand names of semaglutide that are being taken. So how are you guys doing with it if you're on it? How's it working for you? Have you gone off of it? How much are you paying for it? Is it too pricey? Another real controversial thing, I listened to some long podcast about it where it was controversial. The places that were controversial to me were the ones who were just prescribing semaglutide just willy-nilly, kind of like not even seeing the patient in person, just kind of doing an intake form online and not even seeing them, trusting the person to just give their own medical history correctly, And all these things, well, yeah, that could be problematic. And they did a deep dive on places like that. But I felt more confident with the place I went because it's local, it's 5 minutes away. You know, they have nurses there. I saw the doctor the first time. I literally showed him my blood panel, to let him know he was really interested in my thyroid number. So I know they were doing their due diligence and they were getting it from the Texas Star, yeah, pharmacy shipped to them. I think initially it came from Florida, and I don't know if different states are still closing out or still providing it or not, but I looked up Texas Star Pharmacy, it was very reputable. And so I did a lot of due diligence, and that's why I felt safer taking the risk. I think we're all kind of guinea pigs, but like my one doctor, I talked to my doctor too, my OBGYN, and they noticed I had lost weight from my prior year's number, and it's like, great job. And I told them I was taking the compounded semaglutide, and yeah, she agreed too. Like, this isn't some new drug that just came about this year that everyone's jumping on. It's something, a peptide that has been prescribed for years, at least a decade or a dozen years or so. So people, it's not necessarily as new as people think. Yeah, we might not have like 20 and 30-year, 40-year long-term studies on the efficacy, the effectiveness, the, aftermath. There's a lot of things we don't know, but I don't know if it's going to go anywhere soon. This might not go the way of fen-phen or Dexatrim or, all those other crazy diets that went awry in the past. Some people automatically want to liken it to that, but it doesn't necessarily mean it will go the same way. Maybe these semaglutide products will end up being something that really helps a lot of people for years and years to come. So I'm glad I have this update to give you guys. I hope all of you who are taking it are doing well. I know some people can't take it. Some people do great on it, lose weight. I don't know how we get off it. I don't know how we taper off. We'll see what happens with me. Some people take it, they don't lose enough weight, it's not effective for them, it just, for whatever reason, doesn't work. And then, like I tell some folks, some people just cannot take it. They try, and it just makes them too sick. I mean, some people are just like so sick with vomiting and diarrhea or what have you, it's not even worth it. And then other people just go off it for strange reasons. Or I know this one woman who took Saxenda, and I can see why someone might not want to give the shots. Like, I believe those shots were actually daily, so that could be really, if I'm not mistaken, I think those were daily shots. That can be quite a bit. I mean, even taking them weekly got to be enough for me. So that's why part of me is like, I'm glad I'm taking a little break. Good, I don't have to inject myself every week. I don't even mind needles, but I don't have to inject myself every week. So that's fine. That can get draining. But this one woman, she was on Saxenda, and it helped her lose weight, and she was taking the shots, I believe, daily. Of course, it gets expensive. Even with insurance, it can get pricey. But it was interesting. She was saying, you know how when you're pregnant and you crave food and everything tastes so good? She didn't like the fact, I guess, that she lost those cravings, or the food just didn't taste as good to her. And I kind of understand what she means, because at first it's kind of like, ugh, I don't really want. You lose certain cravings. I don't even want chocolate. I didn't even want this. But the food desire came back to me, and I would crave specific things. So that wasn't really a problem for me. So it's interesting, people have different reasons why they might go off of it, financially, or just physically is making them too sick, or maybe it's just time for a break. So let's see what happens. I plan to keep updating you guys. I don't know how long it'll be, but I wanted to give this update to show you, okay, yeah, it's possible to lose a good amount of weight on compounded semaglutide. And so what is that total? 158. If I started, so technically I've lost 54 pounds. Yeah, technically total. 12 I gotta add in my head. Yeah, if I started at my highest at 212, technically at the doctor's office it said 210. But if I know my highest I hit was 212 at one point. My scale says 158 now. Yeah, that's amazing. That's 54 pounds. 54 pounds down with compounded semaglutide since April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. 8 months. That's a blessing. 54 pounds down in 8 months. And now I don't want to ruin it all and just go back up there. I want to control it. I want to, whatever it does, the signals it sends, the insulin resistance it kind of banishes, or whatever the heck it's doing in there, I hope it keeps doing that and I can like learn how to keep it under control as I'm thinking about the potato chips I want to go eat. Just keep it under control and then see if I can do this without it. Or hopefully, if I have to, next year go back on it, because it was a very positive experience for me. And it's weird, just different quirky, side effects. Some people have crazy dreams and you're just like, what is happening? So we'll see. Let's talk about all of it. Thank you for letting me update you guys and for your comments and letting me know how you're doing on it. And then stay tuned, because I plan to jump on here more and just do these more informal stories and studies, and whatever's going on with semaglutide, we can talk about it. Thanks so much. Where's the stop button? There it is. Thanks for watching all of this, and stay tuned for more. Bloop.